Hey there folks, it's Eric from Support Adventure, and today I am in Athens, Greece. And in this video, I'm going to sort of assess whether I think that this city is a good place for digital nomads, and talk about the vibe and talk about the culture and how that can interact with digital nomad sort of things. So I'm walking through the neighborhood of Pangradi, which was recommended to me as by a friend of mine who's from Athens, and she said that this would be a good place close to the center where you also get sort of a local vibe. So yeah, it's really interesting. The main thing about Greece, I think, is that it's an alternative sort of Southern Europe. You know, it's not, everybody thinks of Southern Europe as Italy and Spain and stuff, but Greece is kind of the one that sort of sticks out as it's almost a bit sort of it's a very traditional sort of Christian Southern European society, but it's a little bit exotic because you also have the historical influence of the Ottoman Empire that ruled here for many years, similar to, where I normally live in Belgrade, Serbia, but in a much more smoothed out way, I would say, because, Greece is a very ancient culture and a traditional society at the same time. And so walking down the streets of Athens, it feels good. It's a little bit noisy. There's lots of these motorbikes, and my Airbnb is right over there on this very street, and so overlooking that church there, beautiful church. And so I'm hearing motorbikes all the time, and it just seems to be a feeature of the city, is that there's lots of motorbikes and you will hear them. And not as bad as Vietnam. In Vietnam, it was just constantly, they honk all the time, so it's just that's what the streets sound like. No, here it's just the gentle purr of motorbikes, and maybe sometimes somebody's doing one of those sort of sounds. But yeah, that's a little bit jarring, but overall I would say the vibe of the city is like a mix of Eastern European, Balkan, Middle Eastern, and classic Southern European civilized society. How expensive is it? I would say that it's in the medium category of cities. It's not cheap, not expensive. Definitely much cheaper than places like Amsterdam or London, if you want to be a digital nomad, much, much cheaper. But if you're looking at other places north of here in Eastern Europe and the Balkans and stuff like that, it's actually quite expensive to do stuff like go out and have a coffee or something like that. Go out and have a beer. Maybe as much as twice the price. Airbnbs, since this is a tourist capital, seem to be quite expensive in the area around here in the city center compared to some other places, but this fluctuates with time, and I guess you can always find a deal. But one guy who works with Support Adventure, Fabian, I met with him, he moved here about a month ago, and him and his lady found a place in one of the suburbs of Athens near the sea, and apparently that's only costing them 600 euros a month for 100 square meters with a nice balcony and 5 minutes away from the beach. So there's deals to be had if you actually want to settle down and move here. Now keep in mind, it is the Schengen area, so if you have visa-free access to the Schengen area, it's likely going to only be for 3 months, so it's going to be pretty tricky to find an apartment like that, right? To find an apartment that you can rent for 3 months, 600 euros a month. I think they signed a year lease. So yeah, the city seems to be you get the sense, as I said before, a deeply traditional society. Tradition is what rules here. People here are very ingrained in their cultural ways in some sense. Lots of history, lots of culture, lots of old institutions, lots of old men who sit on the streets looking like they own the neighborhood, which they probably do. Not disputing anything. But yeah. Is this the greatest place to be young? It doesn't seem like it is. Is this the greatest place to have wild youth years? Well, I haven't been clubbing here, so it might be, but from the looks of and things on the street and life, the pulse of life, it doesn't appear like it would be the best place if you're looking to go crazy and party your youth away. I could be wrong, Clubbing is not high on my list at the moment, so... Internet works reasonably well, not as well as in places that have newer infrastructure. It's like the same thing as so one of our contractors at Support Adventure went to Germany and said, I didn't know the internet in Germany would be so bad because 4G barely works, and you know, you're dropping pings all over the place and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so it's a little bit, you know, Athens is okay with internet, it seems, the 4G networks and the cable or whatever. But if you go to the islands of Greece, you definitely need to think twice about remote working from there, because lots of people have had lots of bad experiences, let's say. And so, yeah, local people, they are friendly, they do speak English. They are basically like, yeah, not overly friendly, but not unfriendly. So I would say it's a very neutral thing. Kind of like Spain, I would say. Similar level to Spain. You know, nobody's like super excited to meet a foreigner, because I guess there's like lots of foreigners here. At the same time, it's like nobody's rude and nobody resents you for being a foreigner, and nobody really seems to have a problem speaking English in the service industry or people that you meet, you know. It's friendly territory for English speakers. As for the weather, it's like, now it's October, I'm still in a t-shirt in the daytime. When the sun's up, you can do that. In the evening, it's a bit colder. And yeah, I mean, it's not the place where you would go for winter, because winter here, well, first of all, they don't have proper heating in the houses. Second of all, you know, for a lot of the time, it's not going to go over 20 degrees, or even maybe even 15 would be the max on most days. So it's warmer than most places where it actually snows. I believe snow is very rare here. January is the coldest month. I was here last year in January, 2020 January. And yeah, there were some nice sunny days like this, but it very much was winter. So, I mean, if you're looking for a Southern European destination that's warm in the winter, the hack for that is go to the Canary Islands, which are property of Spain off the coast of Africa. And it's perfectly Southern European vibes and culture. But you just have to happen to be on an island further south, therefore it's warmer. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the endless walking in Athens and walking around all the different neighborhoods. There's so much history and culture, and you see everybody's got their little garden on their balconies, and there's like lots of new stuff, old stuff, traditional stuff, more trendy stuff. And I believe that my week in this city and walking around, I've been walking, you know, on some days up to 15, 16 kilometers a day, and just checking out neighborhoods, and it's utterly fascinating to see. I really enjoyed this neighborhood. And tomorrow I'm moving to Exarchia, which is a neighborhood which is a more alternative vibe, as they say, anarchist vibe. So I'm gonna check that out for the weekend, see what it's like there. But yeah, definitely a week in this place is not enough to explore and see what it's all about, even just to scratch the surface. So this is a place where I would consider coming back in the future. It's got a big city vibe. You don't have this calm and relaxing nature that you have in big cities like Belgrade. Well, Belgrade isn't that big, but it's where I normally live, where you can truly chill out, and people there, yeah, there's more hustle and bustle here, motorcycle noise and stuff like that. So yeah, folks, that's Athens. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this channel, if you like our company Support a Venture, please subscribe. I'll catch you later. Bye now.